welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Jack.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back. We're going to talk about Ready Player One. Jack, you saw this. I did not. You're also a fan of the book.
I did like the book a lot. Yep.
Okay, so give the general premise of the film and then your thoughts on it.
Surely. The general premise of the story, if you haven't heard, is about a group of kids who live in like a dystopian future. It's like 2075 or something, 2085. I don't know.
Right.
And it's about kids who run around in this virtual world called the OASIS, which was invented by a guy. It's like a computer game, essentially, that everybody accesses with gloves and visors, like 3D visors and
Right.
Like bodysuits, so you can feel stuff. And they go into this virtual world, very like William Gibson-ish. And the game world features anything you want, right? You could have Batman world, or you could have War Games world, or War of the Worlds world, or that's a lot of worlds.
That's a lot of worlds.
But you could have whatever you want, right? Okay. And the guy who invented this universe dies, and when he dies, he puts it out to everybody that plays in this game world that he created, that if they can solve these riddles and find 3 keys, they'll become solely in charge of the OASIS and inherit his entire fortune.
Okay.
So that's the setup, right? And then it's about this low level character who goes by the name of Parzival in the game world. And he basically is like the Christ figure who he's the Neo of the world, and that's the setup. That's the whole movie. Okay.
Okay. So it's a large fetch quest, basically.
Right. Filled in a world, like the book is about nothing but nerdgasming to pop culture. Like the guy Halliday who invented the OASIS is a huge fan, specifically in the novels, of 80s pop culture. That's his whole thing. And so the players in the future now who are trying to solve these riddles are like completely ensconced in 80s pop culture. They know everything about it. They've played every Atari game. They've seen every Duran Duran video, every 80s movie. You know, that's what
weird,
they study.
That's kind of my favorite 80s band. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, that is weird. But that's kind of what they're into to try to solve this, okay? And the movie takes pop culture liberties from all eras.
Right, because there's like characters from Overwatch and this and everything.
Right,
else.
and Master Chief and Halo and Batman and you know,
I mean, that makes
Matrix
sense. You got to
World.
update it. Yeah.
Yeah. They had to update it, and it works really successfully. I'm kind of surprised how successfully it works. It's totally an eye candy movie. That's all it is. All right, they've changed a lot of the books. So if you're going into this as a book fan, realize that they change a lot of stuff because they have to, because it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. The first 45 minutes of the book is literally the montage at the beginning.
Oh, wow.
And just wipes it all out and like explains what's going on as quickly as possible. And
right. I mean, that makes sense.
And a lot of the other details have changed, but they got some amazing rights for this. I mean, there's every scene of this movie has a nod to something, whether it's big or small. Some movie, some pop culture, something. And that is half of the fun of this movie, is watching it and trying to pick up all the Easter eggs, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that would be the reason to see it multiple times.
That is the reason to see it multiple times. It's the reason to see it once too, because it's funny and cute, and every moment you're like, oh, look at that. I remember, you know, Terminator 2, you know, and that's the cool part of the movie. It's the scary part of the movie. No, before I get there. So it's good eye candy. It's Steven Spielberg. It's PG-13. And it's very much like a teenager movie.
Yeah.
It's like a movie you would take your 13-year-old to see as a parent, and the parent's going to have a great time too.
Okay, that's fair.
That's the kind of movie it is. So there's a lot of teenager like romance tropes that are thrown in. Like the romance doesn't work really well, and
because you're 13.
Because they're 13, right? And like, you know, the guy meets the girl, and 10 minutes later he's like, oh, I'm in love with you.
Gross.
And it falls victim to some of that. It doesn't drag at all. I mean, it goes really quickly. It makes a lot of sense, and it's tangibly fun to watch.
Now, what did you think of Tye Sheridan, who plays the main character?
All of the actors and actresses are fine because you barely see them. 3/4 of this movie is spent in the virtual world.
Wow, that's kind of funny, right? Because that kind of reminds me of was Assassin's Creed, where they were like, we're going to do 80-20. I was like, awesome. But 80% was outside of the animus.
Right.
Like, that's not why I came to see the movie. So
this movie knows what you came to see.
Yeah, that's cool that they knew that.
Yeah,
that's
and
good.
the actors, when they're on screen, the main guy's pretty wooden. Like, he tries to act, but his face isn't really built for it. The best actor in the film is probably the actress that plays H, his quote unquote the quote unquote black character.
Yeah. She's from I forget her name, but she's also in Master of None. She's very good at it.
She's the most talented of these young actors.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, total sense, right? Because she's got some kind of acting experience. Like, I don't know where the other two came from, but they're
Tye Sheridan is that Cyclops in the new X-Men movies.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of those movies, so that's fine.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
What's bad about this movie is that it's very much a teenager's movie. So it falls victims to a lot of the stuff that makes teen movies excruciating for people that aren't teenagers.
Okay, that's fair.
And not only that, the message, when you read the book, it's a lot of fun, but books take a long time to absorb. So you may not remember all of the details of some certain scenes or the overall details. Like, you remember the feelings you get, but you may not really pick up on some of the symbolisms or whatnot. This movie is terrifying because in 2 hours you realize just how scary it would be if this actually happened. And there's a good chance that this is the way our society is heading.
Right.
At the end of the day, this is a movie about a group of kids who feel like they are 100% in the right to try to police an entire world by stopping it from having pop-up ads. Because seriously,
that literally is where our future is going.
That's all the bad guys want to do. The IOI Corporation, they want to win. That's the bad guys in the movie. They want to defeat the kids, and they have like a whole culture built to do that. And they want to win. And when they win, what they want to do is put ads everywhere.
They just want to buy Netflix and ruin it.
Yeah, they just want to make money off of this.
So corporatism versus unfair. I guess it's probably weirdly a analogy of net neutrality. That's kind of
sort of, yeah. But what's
sense.
Scary is there are some real world consequences that are featured in the movie. Like the main kid, the bad guys try to kill him in the real world at one point, and they don't succeed. But they kill his aunt and his uncle and a whole bunch of innocent people. And then, right, and then it's never referenced again because that doesn't matter. Their main goal is keeping an ad-free game universe. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are moving towards a world in which the internet or what happens for your internet persona is more important than the real world.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of, I guess that's kind of an interesting
and that's kind of how the world is right now. Like people on their Instagram accounts, like that, they're building a virtual world for themselves.
Yeah.
And they aren't necessarily that person, but what you see is all you can perceive.
Right.
And in this virtual world, which that's all anybody does, you can be perceived however you want. And so, and also they very much Hollywooded this up. So in the book, the main characters are overweight and not really handsome or attractive.
Right.
The love interest is chubby and has like supposedly a very large birthmark covering like half of her face, which they do the birthmark in the movie, but it's really not quite so much. And they're both very attractive, obviously.
Right.
So it's a Spielberg Hollywooded up CGI explosion of nostalgia and adventure and fun, and just go and watch it and enjoy the visuals and don't try to care so much about the symbolism. Your kids will love it. I will warn you, there is a scene where they go into a very famous horror movie and it's pretty scary. Like
for kids.
You know how screeners are, right? Like people they cheer, they applaud. That whole scene was dead silence. Dead silence.
Good.
Yeah, so if you're taking your teenagers to see this, take your 13-year-olds. I wouldn't take my 11-year-old probably.
Okay.
Or my 10-year-old.
Okay, that's fair. What's your score, by the way?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. It's pretty solid. It's entertaining. That's what you want a movie to be, right? It doesn't dig too deep into that story that could be there, which is we need to stop the destruction and mechanicalization of our society into these virtual world presences. Okay. They don't dig into that. They don't care. It's about having a good time.
And that's fair. Like either go all the way in or stay surface and just give me the action.
And that's what
fun
they
stuff.
do. It's very much a surface level version of the book, and it's more successful for it.
Okay, there you go. There's the review for Ready Player One, 4 out of 5. So go check it out. Don't take your 11 or 10-year-old kid to see it.
Don't just take my word for it. Go see it. I liked it. That would be my final verdict for you guys. Spend your money, go see it. It's worth a watch.
All right, guys. We will see you guys next time. You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.